friends, good morning and welcome back. Today's video kind of got turned upside down a little bit. We started off with just a snowy morning. I had like house chores in mind and I was gonna do, a bunch of cleaning, record some cleaning motivation for you guys, which we did, but then it kind of got turned upside down midway through the day and I had some last minute floral jobs come up. So you're gonna get to see kind of that, how everything turned out, and some really beautiful flowers. So I hope you guys enjoy that. We started off though, of course, by making the bed. That is like my new routine. I'm back to it every morning. Like I'll get up, get dressed, do my hair if I'm doing it, and then my first chore is getting the bed made, and then I feel really good about starting the day on the right foot.
I've tried sometimes, but you're making me nervous. No, I've realized that I can't live without you. All my friends reassure that it's obvious, and that maybe I'm wasting my time, but I gotta try. The only reason I keep sneaking out at night to laugh with you in secret under city lights. Surprised you never had the guts to figure.
Like I mentioned, we had a bunch of snow this morning, and this week was like the first week we really got big flakes of snow, and like it actually stuck around. It ended up accumulating to like probably between ½ inch to an inch in different places, and it stuck around for about a week. So now I am down in the kids' bathroom, and this is where the kids' towels are supposed to be set. Sometimes they'll like leave some of their clothes in here, like when they're taking a shower, they forget to go put them in their own hamper, which we're still kind of getting used to that new setup of everybody having their own clothes hamper, but it has been working very, very well. Like we will not be going back. You can see in my previous 2 Clean With Me's, you can see what we did there, and I like updated them, and it saves me hours each week having the kids' laundry separate, and then I don't have to like separate it after the wash. But the only negative that I've had so far with that is just, sometimes, you find socks under the table, or, clothes in the laundry room or something that they forgot to take to their basket. But usually I'll just, take the towels out and I wash them all together, and then any of those leftover clothes, then I'll just have the kids, grab their stuff. Like, hey, you accidentally left some stuff in the bathroom, and then they'll go put them in their hamper. Still snowing. So what I was doing here is I was signing in to, my inbox. I knew that I had a new inquiry come through the night before. Somebody had filled out my wedding florals form, and she wanted to get some pricing and some information on that. And so I wanted to put together like a basic quote, kind of give her an idea with, what she filled in for the size of her event, and let her know what that would be. And then also give her some availability so that she could schedule a call with me on my calendar. So that's what I was doing here, kind of putting together a bid so that she could, see if we're a good fit. And then, as you guys will see a little bit later, I also had a bridal bouquet and boutonniere that I was going to be delivering, just really simple wedding flowers for like a really small wedding, and that was going to be coming up. So my plan was going to be the next day I was going to be picking up those flowers and I'd be working on them, but things ended up changing a little bit further into the video. And then now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm still going on my to-do list, and this windowsill has been driving me crazy, and it's just accumulated with dust, and it's one of those like our favorite spots to just kind of sit on the ground and like look out. And yeah, today I was going to tackle it. toothbrush, like cleaner thing. It's not actually a toothbrush. This is a Rubbermaid, I forget what it's called, like a power scrubber or something. I'll link it down below. I got mine on Amazon, and they actually have different tips that you can put on. It's literally like a rechargeable toothbrush where you can put different heads on. They have one that's like really good for crevices, and last time I checked it was out of stock, but I imagine they'd have them at like Target and things like that. It actually really works well if you've got like grout, or you have, you know, like little crevices like this. Even after, you saw me, I already cleaned this windowsill, but there's just like those little areas that you really couldn't get in there like in any reasonable amount of time without something like this. So being able to just quickly get in and like get those dusty, gunky things out, super helpful for me. I do know a friend of mine actually has her own cleaning business, and she uses like an orange wood stick. If you guys have ever used those like as a cuticle pusher to when you're doing your nails, she uses an orange wood stick, and that helps to get in little crevices and things. But for something like this, you know, that's painted, I feel like an orange wood stick can kind of do some damage. Same thing with grout, it would be kind of tough. But these little like scrubber brush thingies, they really do a good job. Like, I think it was worth it. And, you know, if you don't have the budget, I mentioned this before, but if you don't have the budget for a new cleaning tool, if you have an old like powered toothbrush like this that's not too, you know, the bristles aren't worn down too bad, you could use that just to kind of see if you'd like it, and then think if it would be a good fit for you.
So we've had quite the change in plan. First of all, how beautiful is like our first week of snow here up on the mountain. But second, so I've got an event, well, I have a wedding this weekend, not like full service, but like bouquet, boutonnieres, that sort of thing that I'm dropping off on Friday morning. But yesterday, like right when I was picking the kids up from school, I got a phone call from a local restaurant up here that wanted me to do some table arrangements and like their front entryway tables and things like that. So last minute flower job, and then I put it in order yesterday. So if you guys have been around for a while, you'd know I grow my own flowers, but obviously, you know, not right now because we're in the middle of winter. So over the past few months, with getting more like inquiries for events and weddings and things, I've been looking more into sourcing, you know, other farms, people that have greenhouses, and then also like importing and stuff from other areas. So the Portland Flower Market is where we are headed. I was gonna, like I put in an order yesterday, I was going to have them deliver it, but there's a holiday and so it's affecting like shipping and stuff. So if I had them FedEx the flowers to me, there's a risk that they wouldn't get here in time. And so we're just gonna go, and I'm gonna take you guys with me, and you can see what flowers I'm picking out. I think this will be fun though. I'm not sure if I'm...
Unfortunately, like snowflake must have flown into the microphone of my camera because everything else I was saying basically sounded like I was underwater, but you get the idea. I had to go to the floral market and get flowers, which actually worked out really good because the flowers that I had ordered for this wedding I was gonna be working on, the roses never came in. And I had those ordered like 6 weeks in advance. They didn't make it on the truck. Yeah, it was kind of a nightmare. So I am so thankful that like I found out that they didn't arrive while I was at the market. So I was able to just pick up the ones I needed, and it was just like couldn't have gone better. A little bit out of my plan, you know, I was getting flowers on the day before I was going to, and it just kind of upped everything I was doing, but I'm happy with how it turned out. We shift and we pivot and it works out. So today I'm gonna walk you guys kind of through how I do events like this. So right now what I'm doing is just unpacking everything. I did already take, like, I usually take things out of the car and I'll, you know, strip off any like plastic wrap if the flowers were imported. And then I'll also do like a quick cut with my, I have like a a cutter that I use for like market bouquets and stuff, just to give a quick cut on the ends. So I had already done that, and I'm bringing them in, as well as all the vessels we're going to need. So the restaurant, they wanted 2 bouquets, one for their bar, like a large one, and then one for the entryway. And then we had 15 bud vases. And these are the flowers that I picked out for their event. So they gave me no restrictions for color or any inspiration photos or anything, which is really cool. At this point, they just like trust me to put together something that they'll like. So I get to have fun with it. I did use some carnations, which I don't really ever use, but I've been seeing a lot of people use them recently, and I think that they can add, especially the larger ones, they can add a fun pop of color. And as long as you're not doing them in like a conventional way, like, you know, you see them at like a really cheap flower shop or like a grocery store, as long as you know, put them with some really high quality flowers and use them sparingly and use them for little pops of color and kind of to support the color story, I think they really enhance a bouquet, and they really are very cost effective too. So we had roses, we had mums, lots of different types of chrysanthemums, and I think that just screams like fall to me. And then these hypericum berries, so pretty, some limonium. And then over here, this is where I've got the bridal flowers. So she really wanted some magnolia foliage. And then these beautiful white roses, these are Playa Blanca, and they are just so full. These are the largest size that you can get on them. And we've got some stock. I grew stock this year for the first time from seed, and I love it so much. Like it smells even stronger when you've grown it yourself and you've got it just like fresh cut from the farm. But even still, like getting it from someone else, it still smells amazing. And I thought for a bridal bouquet, that's, you know, exactly what I want. I want it to smell just beautiful. And then I've got these Lysianthus, the white, smaller, they almost look like a rose, the smaller white flowers there. I thought they would add a nice contrast, and those buds kind of add their own little wispy element. I grabbed my coffee, I wanted to sit down and kind of think out how I was going to do these. So sometimes when you've got a plan, it has to adjust. Well, usually it always has to adjust when you actually get your flowers. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here brainstorming, stripping some of the leaves and prepping flowers, and then also thinking through what can I use for these bud vases that's not going to take away from the big arrangements, and how can I make everything have a cohesive feel. Now that I've kind of got my bud vase idea, at least I try to do like the bare minimum on my first one to like, if I have to use everything else that I have, what is the bare minimum that I could do to still have a product that I'm really proud of? That's like where I try to get and make sure I've got those stems, like those flowers are being reserved. Like I cannot touch, 15 stems of this and that, like what I've already allocated. And then what I'm doing now is I'm prepping my roses. These are an orange crush rose, and I'm just taking off those outer petals that they call them guard petals. They're a little bit more crispy and they don't have the same kind of coloring as the rest of the rose. These ones are really fun because they're kind of like a deeper, like red corally orange on the outside, and then they fade into like a brighter orange in the middle. So they're a lot of fun. They add some cool like depth to an arrangement. And then I'm just gonna go ahead, keep prepping stems, anything that is going to be short or small or not add to the arrangement. I'm working on that first one for their entryway right now. Anything that's not going to fit that, I'm just popping in these little bud vases to keep it in water, and that way I can use these little bits to enhance those bud vases without wasting any product. Like, if I can get away with waste, if I can give them like the most bang for their buck, and also for me too, I want to make this the most profitable that I can while still providing like an amazing delivery, then that's my goal. So right now I'm just going through and I'm deciding how many stems of what I'm going to be using, and then anything that's small going into those bud vases to potentially get used when I do them. So now that I've got everything prepped for this arrangement, and then I know exactly what stems I can use for what I've budgeted for this piece, now I'm just doing a little cleanup on my work area, and then I'm gonna get started with the greenery. So these are camellia bush leaves. And I love these because they are so hardy. Like, it's a really good woody stem, and they can add some really nice structure. It's almost like giving me a grid, or like how you would use a frog, like a metal frog or chicken wire to give you some structure and an arrangement. That is what these stems are doing. So since I didn't want to include any kind of, chicken wire in the bottom or floral foam, I really don't use floral foam. So I wanted to use those greens to kind of hold everything in place. And then when I go to the flowers, they're gonna stay exactly where I put them. And then of course, the more and more you add, the more sturdy it's gonna become. So I always start with greenery, almost always. So far we've got some silver dollar eucalyptus, we've got the camellia. This here is a really neat pincushion flower. Those are spendy stems. Even wholesale, you're gonna spend like $4 or $5 each on those pincushion stems. But I think having something like that, having a really high-end, fancy, almost tropical, feel like right up in the front with the colors that I'm really going for, I think that is what makes the bouquet. Honestly, I think that's what made these arrangements so cool. And it also makes it so that I can use flowers that are less expensive, like these mums or the carnations, and I think it all tied together in the end. So I'm just going through, I'm gonna choose the heights for the different pieces I'm adding. You can see I kind of made like a little, like an implied line here with the mums. So we've got the back is taller, the mid is, mid-level, and the one in the front is a little bit heavier and it's on the bottom, but it kind of takes your eye, you're looking at it from the side here, but it kind of takes your eye back and up, which I love doing that whenever I can. Another thing I tend to do with arranging flowers, see I did the same thing there with the hypericum berries. It's kind of a line of 3, taking your eye back. But something that I will always do when I'm arranging is I think about, how is this going to be used? Is it something that's going to sit on a table and people are going to see it all the way around? Or is it going to be just front facing and it's against a wall? And this, as well as the other large arrangement I did, they were both going to be just single-sided. So This is something at their front desk. Literally the only way that it's going to be seen is just the front and a little bit of the side, because it's right up by their check-in desk. So this one here, it's going to look the best from the front, and I wanted to make sure I'm not wasting any, beautiful stems on the back that aren't going to be seen. So that's definitely how I was arranging it here. I love it when the kids, see me working with the flowers and they want to get involved. Kaylee was so excited to just be a part of it. And I told her once I was done with these arrangements, then we could make, she could start making her own little bouquet. And a little bit later on during the video, she did, start putting some things together. And as we went through, I was able to tell her oh yeah, you can use this, oh, you can have that. When I had kind of a better idea of what was going to be extras and what I needed. So that's fun. I always love it when the kids want to be involved and kind of being able to use their input too, what do you think of this? Or how do you like that? Or here she was handing me different things she thought I should add in, and it was just really nice. I like that I get to work from home with my kiddos sometimes. It's something that I think they'll remember, and yeah, I just really cherish these kind of special times where I get to be creative and I'm working and she gets to be a part of it too. I really love it.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life, but I never really put up a fight, didn't follow my dreams, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say, slow it down.
I'm so curious, for those of you guys who are watching, do you like seeing this actual process of processing flowers, arranging them? Do you like hearing kind of the design process through it? Or I don't know, as you guys know, I'm really into flowers right now, and it's I've found my creative passion. It's something that I really enjoy doing, and I feel like I'm okay at it. I know I'm horrible at drawing with a pencil, but I feel like I can express kind of my creativity and color, how I like to put colors together and textures through flowers, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So I want to, share and pass along as much of that as you guys want to see. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoy seeing the process, what you might want to see next time, or when I have jobs come up, do you want to see this sort of thing again? Maybe a little bit less? What do you like to see? I want to put out, content that you guys want to see. Maybe just the cleanup. Maybe you just want to see me clean up after a big, a big design session. Do you want to see how messy it gets in the floor and that? Or do you like to see the actual process and hear the names of flowers? Let me know.
Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the
And now it's time to clean up because I had a bunch of stems, you know, and I like to clean up in between, you know, when I move from one arrangement to the next, I like to kind of reset, and it feels, at least for like the creative process, it's like tearing off a paper and, you know, you're starting fresh. So I like to just kind of wipe all the used stems away and reset. Now we're gonna work on the bud vases. And I did have about 3 roses that were not accounted for today, so I decided I'm gonna actually go ahead and use some of those. And I had a lot of this willow eucalyptus, so I wanted to use that for the greenery. So I'm just going through here. I'm kind of making another mock-up for bud vases. Another idea of, instead of that one that's there in the center with the yellow solidago and the mums, I'm gonna do a few of them with these roses because I think, you know, roses are nice. They add something. I don't like to do everything just roses. I feel like that can be really typical. But I thought since I have them and they really pull in that bright orange color from the larger arrangements, I thought they would be nice. So here I'm just filling up our bud vases so that those are all nice and ready to go. And then we're just gonna batch them out. So I'm gonna basically I've got my 2 recipes there and I'm gonna replicate them until we run out of bud vases. It's so funny to watch my little helper here in the bottom right corner because she picks up everything and she's smelling it, trying to see. She was really surprised that the willow eucalyptus smells like eucalyptus because, you know, we grow it here and I've got more of a silver drop. Eucalyptus is what I grow. And then the flat leaf or the silver dollar, it looks different than the willow, but they all smell similar. So she's always learning and asking lots of questions while I'm arranging flowers, and I think it's really neat.
What this is, yeah, keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light.
Once again, just tidying up now that we've got all our bud vases done. And I'm actually going to pack these so that they're all ready to go. I usually use my Instacrates, just those big pop-up crates you can find at Costco. I use those, but inside of them, I like to make sure everything is really, really secure. So I've just got a little cardboard box. It's actually like I'm reusing a canning box because it's just the perfect size for bud vases. And then I'm just putting a little bit of bubble packing around them so nobody is gonna, you know, chink and like chip while we're transporting. And then once I get those all packed up, they always look so neat too. They look all snuggled up and it's like one massive, like way overly stuffed arrangement when you have all the bud vases together. But I always love looking at it like that because it gives you kind of a feel for that color palette. And then here's my Instacrate. Love these. If you see them at Costco, pick a couple up. They're great for groceries too. And I love that you can stack them. So if you've got like a large family and your grocery trips are massive, they're nice. You can have like a couple of freezer Instacrates. You can have a couple refrigerated. And then you can have like your bags, you know, in the car separate. All right, so now I'm just condensing down my bucket. These are all of the leftover stems here from this event. And then I did have plans that my family was gonna visit on Saturday. So my grandma and my mom and the kids really wanted to make some arrangements. Like once they saw I had all these flowers, they're like, can we make some for our grandmas? And I'm like, yes, we can totally do that. So that's what these extra stems went to.
I am running for you. I am running for you. I am running for you. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light.
And then now I'm gonna get started on our bridal bouquet. So I'm just getting my tape all prepped and ready, and then we'll get started there. Once again, I always start out with my greenery, and I've got some camellia leaves. These are really just for the structure to make sure that we've got a really good, sturdy place to place our flowers. And I'm gonna begin with prepping our roses. This technique here is called reflexing. So it's basically softening your petals and turning them inside out. So you have to be really gentle. You can easily break them off. And I have to tell you, like, it is hard to reflex roses if they're not like really good quality. Like if they're not at the right condition, they're kind of soft. Usually I would like to let roses sit out for a day or even two before I'm trying to do this. But, obviously this was a fairly tight turnaround, and basically you're just trying to take off those guard petals and then open them up so that they're not this tight, small little bud. You want them to be open, and you want them to be beautiful, like they're going into a bridal bouquet, and you want to see what their full potential size is going to be. Some people, when they reflex roses, they're really inside out. I like to do that sometimes, but for the most part, I'll just reflex them to soften them where they're going to open, and then I'll even push those outer petals back a little bit on the flower. But I really want it to look nice and natural and full. That's what I'm going for. I should note too, the style of bouquet that she wanted was round, so kind of like a tighter, compact, like not completely symmetrical. Like it wasn't just, like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do a bouquet like that, but she wanted it more of like a tight, full, with a collar of magnolia leaves. So we are doing exactly what she, the bride had in mind for her style, for her big day, but making it, my style too. So that was my inspiration for this bouquet.
We will dance away gloomy days right here. We are silver lined, one of a kind, you and me. We will dance away the gloomy days right here. We are silver
We've got a rough chop on the ends. I'm just going through with my Oasis tape, and this is a nice waterproof tape. The thing I love about it the most is not only does it stick, like these stems, once they're wrapped with the tape, they will not move. They will not budge. Because I didn't wrap it crazy tight, I am still able to tuck a few stems in here and there if you're really strategic with it. But I love that tape. And the nice thing about it is when you wrap it backwards and you wrap the sticky side out, it really helps the final ribbon to stick, and like it gives you so much more like support to the, you know, the actual ribbon that you're wrapping with. Now I did want to show you guys how I wrap a bouquet, and of course, like my camera battery died and I didn't realize it while I was wrapping. So I started it out here, I was like laying it down gently, and then I wrapped the ribbon, and I didn't realize my camera had cut out, but this is how the boutonniere turned out. We've got a lisianthus, almost looks like a rose, and I had just a tiny wrap there, and then she wanted just the single ribbon wrap, so no like hanging ribbons or anything like that. But this is how it turned out. I love it, I really do. I think the lisianthus and those Casablanca roses looked great. You can see how I do the pins in the back there on the ribbon. I really loved it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for not just a little bit of, you know, house chores, cleaning motivation, but then also some fun flower jobs that I had come up. If you like this sort of thing, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you would like to see next week. I know I need to do a refrigerator clean out. That's definitely on my list. Probably laundry. We'll see. Thanks guys so much for watching. I will put some of my recent cleaning videos up in the cards up here, as well as down below in my cleaning playlist. And I'll see you all soon. Bye guys.